Good morning, everybody. I'm Kimberly Green, the Public Information Officer for Bladensburg Police Department. We want to thank everyone for coming out today. We're here to discuss a tragic incident that occurred Saturday, October 18th, 2025, around 10:12 p.m. on the 4100 block of 56th Avenue. Today, we have the Bladensburg Police Department's Acting Chief, Daniel Frischkorn, Lieutenant Richard Poole, the Town of Bladensburg's Mayor, Takesha James, Council Member Kalisha Dixon, and the Town Administrator, Michelle Bailey Hedgebeth. Joining us from Prince George's County Fire EMS Department is Acting Chief Macaletas and Acting Assistant Chief, Fire Chief Benita Dawson, and the Bladensburg Fire Department Chief Dave Sumner. Acting Frischkorn will provide an update on the incident, and we will take a few questions afterwards.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. I'm the Acting Chief Frischkorn of the Bladensburg Police Department, and I'm here to provide you with an update to the tragic vehicle crash that happened on Saturday night, October 18, 2025. At approximately 10:12 p.m., a Bladensburg police officer who was patrolling in the 4100 block of 56th Avenue came across the crash site and was waved down by some of the parties that were involved. Subsequent additional Bladensburg police officers were dispatched to the area to assist. The collision occurred in the front yard of a residence where several adults and children were gathered for a child's birthday party. Prior to the crash, the striking vehicle, which was a passenger vehicle, was traveling in reverse from the area of Annapolis Road when it entered into the residential property and drove through a tent that was in place for the birthday party where the victims were gathered. The crash resulted in 14 injured, which included 8 children. The driver of the striking vehicle left the scene of the crash and was later identified as a 66-year-old Washington, D.C. resident. Initial information was received that there were 11 people that were transported by fireboard to local hospitals, to include 3 to Capital Regional Medical Center, 1 to Howard University Hospital, and 7 children to Children's Hospital. As you know, investigations are fluid, and initial information had to be updated, and what is currently known at this time, where there were 14 total victims, which included 6 adults and 8 children from the ages of 1 to 17. To date, 7 of the 8 juvenile victims have been treated and released from local hospitals. 1 child continues to be treated in a local hospital, and 2 adult victims continue to be treated at the hospital. The crash resulted in the tragic death of 31-year-old Ashley Hernandez Gutierrez of Washington, D.C. The other victims suffered a variety of injuries, and the specifics of those are not available. Our hearts go out to the victims and their families, and we offer condolences for their loss. I can't imagine how terrifying this must have been, especially with children involved and so many casualties. The town of Bladensburg is here to support the victims and their families. I'd like to acknowledge the Prince George's County Police Department and the Prince George's County Fire Department, as well as the Bladensburg Volunteer Fire Department, for their assistance at the scene. As you can imagine, it was chaotic. I would also like to acknowledge the Bladensburg police officers who initially arrived on the scene and assisted in rendering aid to the victims prior to their transport. Officers assisted some of the victims in lifting the vehicle to free other victims who were struck. During the course of the investigation, the driver of the striking vehicle turned himself in to the Bladensburg Police Department the following morning at 8 a.m. and was interviewed by a crash investigator. After consultation with the Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office, Assistant State's Attorney Joel Patterson, Chief of the Special Prosecution Unit, charges were applied for the driver of the vehicle, and the driver was identified as Sunday Joseph. The investigation will determine if the accident was alcohol-related and if speed was a factor. We currently have some witness information that both of those may have been a factor. However, additional investigation will determine if that's the case. Current information indicates that the crash was accidental and was not a targeted incident, and the investigation is ongoing, and the current investigation may change based upon any additional evidence that is received. The Bladensburg Police Department and allied law enforcement agencies take traffic safety very seriously, and we work together with the goal of preventing traffic fatalities. Unfortunately, tragic incidents like this do occur despite our efforts. I'm open to any questions.
Chief, has a blood test been done on the gentleman?
No, there hasn't.
And would that maybe not indicate whether he was drunk at the time if he didn't turn himself in until the morning?
Yes, but there's time factors involved in that, and the investigation is still going to take into other factors to determine if alcohol was a factor.
And do you have a sense of why he was going in reverse?
I can't get into the specifics of the investigation. I don't want to jeopardize the investigation.
Anything he said about that?
I can't get into the specifics of any statement if one was made by him.
So Chief, just clarification on that part, because I was just going to ask, what do you mean by when you say that he just drove in reverse into that intersection? Was it off Annapolis? And then,
It was off the area of Annapolis Road, and the vehicle drove in reverse and entered the property while it was in reverse.
Chief, can you say where this individual was prior to the incident, where he was coming from, and what kind of reason would there be to be driving in reverse through that area?
We do have information that we obtained from him, but again, I don't want to jeopardize the investigation, so I can't divulge that information.
What charges is he facing at this point?
I don't have the information on the charges, but we'll update you once they're issued. They are in the process right now of obtaining the charges for him.
And where is he right now?
We have made contact with him today, and he's been cooperative so far in the investigation, so hopefully once the charges are issued, I would hope that he continues to be cooperative and turn himself in.
And Chief, some people out there this morning were saying that people use that 56th Avenue as a cut-through and drive fairly fast through there. Have you any kind of record of tickets that have been issued or the history of that particular stretch?
I don't have any information on that, but that's something that we could look into and take whatever enforcement action. We do take enforcement action throughout the town to make sure that we address speeders.
Chief, just to confirm, so the driver at this point is not in custody?
He is not in custody.
He's not in custody?
No.
But when charges, I guess an arrest warrant will be issued and then brought into custody?
Yes.
Do you have his car at this point?
We have the vehicle, yes.
That's in your,
That's in our custody, and that's part of the investigation. These type of investigations can be lengthy, and there's a lot of additional investigation that needs to be done as far as interviewing. You know, there's a lot of witnesses, there's a lot of statements, there's other physical evidence that will be looked at. So these things tend to take time, and that's why sometimes arrests aren't made immediately on the scene, because we want to ensure that the information that we have supports the probable cause and supports a good prosecution. We want a good case.
do you have any, like, I guess, acknowledgments, any evidence that he was at like a business where there was alcohol being consumed at this point, or?
I can't speak to that, but that's one of the items that will be looked into as part of the course of the investigation.
and
What's
Chief,
the title
just to be sure, Sunday Joseph is his name.
Sunday Joseph, yes.
Was the car under the name of the driver?
The vehicle was registered to the driver.
What was
An
some of the,
estimate of how many people were at the birthday party that night?
I do not.
When talking to witnesses, what was their first response when this happened, reaction?
Well, the witnesses, you know, of course, it was a chaotic scene, and there were victims strewn on the ground. And the officer was there very quickly because he was waved down and observed the aftermath of the accident. So they were assisting in lifting up the vehicle because there were some victims that were under the vehicle.
And then, so the officers were on scene while he was still there, and then he drove off? Is that
No,
right?
he was gone prior to our officer's arrival.
Did he just run out of the vehicle and leave that way then, or?
He left the scene on foot.
Okay.
and was he alone in the car, as far as you know? Sorry.
I'm sorry, as far as we know, he was.
He was the only one in that car?
Yes, as far as we know. That could change based on the investigation.
Chief, I know there's a lot of cameras in the area. Was this incident captured on camera, and is there footage that's assisting with the investigation in terms of speed and everything else?
There is footage that's assisting with the investigation. I can't speak on what cameras we have. That's also during the course of the investigation, they'll be looking at any of the cameras in the area.
And you mentioned the car was going in reverse. How fast in reverse was it going at this point?
We don't have an estimate of the speed at this time. That's something that will be looked into during the course of the investigation.
And Chief, how unusual is it for an accident of this magnitude to be caused by someone driving in reverse? I don't know if I've ever heard that.
Yes, I've been in law enforcement for 38 years, and this is very unusual, especially with the amount of casualties that were involved in this particular incident.
Do you have any, I know you're saying that the investigation is ongoing and everything. Do you have any more information to give us about the driver, whether he had a history of reckless driving, mental health issues, anything like that?
From the information that I have, there is no history of major traffic violations.
Was there any indication that he had any kind of medical emergency or anything like that?
We have no information to indicate that.
Can you spell his name so we have it properly?
Yes, his first name is Sunday, S-U-N-D-A-Y, and his last name is Joseph, J-O-S-E-P-H.
Ms. James, what do you feel the residents of your city?
We're going to have Mayor James come make a statement at this time.
Thank you, PIO Officer Green. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for that question. I appreciate you being here because, as you can imagine, the town of Bladensburg community is just heartbroken over this accident that occurred on Saturday night. And while I can't comment on the ongoing investigation, I do want to take this moment to recognize and thank the Bladensburg Police Department, particularly the officers who responded Saturday night and jumped into immediate action. I also want to acknowledge and thank the Bladensburg Volunteer Fire Department, who also provided a swift response. Both of these agencies aided the victims, and then our police department, as was stated earlier, was able to start pursuing the person responsible for this tragedy. I'm also deeply grateful to the Prince George's County Department, and thank you, Acting Fire Chief Michaelitis, for being here with us this morning. And want to also give acknowledgments and thanks to the Prince George's County Police Department for their support. We've also benefited from consultation from the Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office and appreciate their collaboration on this investigation as well. On behalf of the Town Council, I simply want to extend our deepest condolences to the family of Ashley Hernandez Gutierrez. Please know that the Town of Bladensburg is fully committed to ensuring that the individual responsible is held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. To the victims who are still recovering, our thoughts and prayers are with you. We wish you strength, comfort, and complete healing, not only from your physical injuries, but also from the emotional pain that accompanies such a traumatic experience. The town of Bladensburg stands with you, and we will continue to offer our support as you recover from this unimaginable incident. And with that, I want to turn it over to Acting Chief Michaelitis in case you want to make any remarks.
Thank you, Mayor James, for that. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Prince George's County Fire EMS Department, our deepest condolences go out to the Gutierrez family. We are glad to hear that many of the patients transported that evening have been released from the hospital. The Prince George's County Fire EMS Department will continue to work with Bladensburg Police Department to assist with their ongoing investigation, all of those affected by this tragedy. Thank you.